My name is Julie Hoy. This is me with some of my good friends in southern Mexico. Here I am with my friend John Kerr. I didn't know John when he first called me back in 2000. He told me of this wonderful place he had visited in southern Mexico. He said it was a home overloaded with children called Pimpollo. John asked if I would be willing to do a fundraising concert to raise money for the children. I was inspired by the idea and took it to my husband. We both agreed that if I were going to ask people to get involved, I should probably see it for myself. 2 months later, I made my first trip to Pimpollo. Now, geography is not my strong suit, but at the very bottom of the state of Oaxaca in Mexico, there are 2 major highways that intersect in a town called Juchitán. About 2 miles from that intersection is the gate for Pimpollo. The first time I passed through that gate, I didn't know what to expect. Originally designed to house 40 to 60, I couldn't believe that 125 children lived there. This is me with Padre Pancho. Padre's the one with the mustache. And this is Madre Estela. Madre Estela and Padre Pancho started Pimpollo about 20 years ago. They were both working for the local Catholic school. Madre was the principal and Padre a teacher. One day they just kind of looked at each other and agreed that they were doing a disservice by only serving the rich. They agreed to leave their cushy jobs and devote their lives to serving the poor and giving impoverished young people a chance at an education. They started by taking in teenagers. Before long, they were bringing in little ones too. Adorable little ones. And those who could not care for themselves. Los discapacitados, they call them. Kids with special needs, to you and me. This is a home for the special needs kids, which we're helping to finance. And this is Leo Chico, standing in what is to be his room. When Friends of Pimpollo first came into being, we started a child sponsorship program at the house to support the basic needs, like food, medicine, and educational expenses. Pimpollo's a busy place, as you can imagine. There's always a lot of laundry. Supplementing the food budget makes sure that meals are prepared 3 times a day. There's always plenty of beans and tortillas. Most of the children get to attend school. There are older students, like Letty here, and younger ones, like Rafi. Some of the Pimpollos stay at home for their annual year of service and help out at the house. This is Madre Estela's office and her bedroom. It's the grand central station of the house. With so many children and not enough adults, she is always busy. There are those who help her full-time, like Doña Jose and Juana, and those who volunteer when they can, like the Teresita nuns. Then there are teams. Teams come and do art projects. Teams brought sewing machines and taught the kids to sew. Teams have built things that Pimpollo needs, like tables to eat on. Some guys are brave enough to repair the sewer. Others plant gardens. Teams built a home for the pigs and a chicken coop. Teams paint a lot. With generous donations, teams have purchased hundreds of pairs of shoes for the children. Money is collected before each trip, and when we arrive, Madre gives us a list of those with the greatest need first. Then we go shopping. Sometimes all at the same time. The kids are always grateful. A pair of shoes can make the difference as to whether or not a Pimpollo child can attend school. If they don't have the proper shoes, they cannot go. Teams make a difference. Teams give, and in the process, learn about themselves and others. These are just some of the people we serve. We walk with them and go where the wind is at our back. That wind brought us to our next mission. It's an area about 5 hours' drive north of Pimpollo, just outside of Oaxaca City. It's called Vicente Guerrero. That's where the garbage dump is. Just beyond the fence that surrounds that dump are some of the most beautiful people I've ever met. For the most part, they came here to the big city from the poorest communities in the countryside. They arrived with no money and nowhere to go. The government is very limited in its ability to support new communities. Therefore, there is not funding available for much-needed schools and literacy programs. Still, they want to come to school. They want to learn. Their school is called Símbolos Patrios. Teams have come to build classrooms. Teams have brought Pimpollo kids with them to serve. Teams have brought money for books because they just didn't have any. Teams have read to the children. Teams have bought uniforms for the school so they could have the honor of marching in the local parade. These kids are not only gorgeous, they are smart. And our help makes a difference. We've helped to build a community center where adults can learn to read and write too. One woman in her 40s said it very well. She said she was thankful for the opportunity to learn to read and write because she knew she could never be taken advantage of in the same way again. Another was thankful that she would now be able to help her children with their homework. Imagine that. These are just some of the people we serve. The work we are doing will change the future. Friends of Pimpollo, as an organization, has come so far. We've gone from supplementing basic needs to funding college educations. These students here are part of our Tuxtla Learning Center in Chiapas. Generous donors sponsor room, board, and tuition for these kids. Juli and Josefina in the front row, center, and left are our first graduates. This is Josefina. Another of our students went to school in Guadalajara. Her name is Chelly. She's right there in the middle, and she is now off to law school. This is progress, and it makes us all very happy, especially me. These students have goals, and their goal is to give back, not to leave. These are just some of the people we serve. They are beautiful. We watch them grow and change, and in the process of being with them, we are changed too. We've held their hands and their babies. We've listened and we love. Sometimes we laugh really hard. Other times, we hang out with no agenda at all. Just being together makes a difference. We have shared in their grief and in their joy. We walk beside them, behind them, and sometimes in front. We encourage them and support them as we can in furthering their education. We want to empower them to change the landscape of their own communities. Each one of them is unique. They are all worthy of any help we can give. We're in this together. We're on this earth at the same time for a reason. Walk with us to make a difference.